Welcome to this interview with Nicky J. Davis from Wava Global. Now, Nicky has been with us for 2 years now as a sponsor. She sponsors the Speaker Summit. She also then changes her clothes and comes to the Speaker Awards afterwards as well. But she's going to be present at the Speaker Summit, and she's one of the sponsors. She's going to be doing the Ask the Expert session. So before we deep dive into this interview, Nicky, why don't you tell people about Wava Global and what you do?
Sure, and it's really great to be here, Elliot. And while the Global, so what we've been doing is developing leaders in organizations around the world. And we've been doing this for over 20 years. It's a company that I founded. I can't believe it's been going for 20 years. That's
Wow.
gone in a finger snap. But it's really about helping leaders within organizations be really effective, inspiring leaders. But there's another side to my business, which is really what we're going to focus on here. And that's about helping speakers, coaches, and consultants win corporate clients because corporates love working with us, but they don't know how to find us, and there's a lot of noise out there. And so being
Yeah.
able to stand out is incredibly important, which is why I love supporting the Speaking Summit, because you help people do that.
Yeah, well, I also wrote the book, How to Stand Out and Speak and Be More Giraffe.
There you
So I
go.
also I could say literally I wrote the book on that, which is really cool, and it was shortlisted for the Business Book Awards. But we won't talk about it right now. So tell me from your experience, and this year's theme is all about corporates, well, corporate bookings, enhancing your corporate bookings, getting regular corporate bookings. So part of the reason I think we're together again, so to speak, metaphorically, and also physically, you'll be in the room, is because you specialize in that space, and so it's really a great fit for you to come on board and sponsor us again, and we of course very grateful for that. When you work with people, speakers who want to get into the corporate space, what's a big mistake you see them do?
Yeah. So, I talk about two different types of speaking opportunities.
Yeah,
So, one is around being a keynote speaker, and one is around being a content speaker. And the
right.
difference between the two of those is a keynote speaker tends to be more inspirational and sort of goes in there, delivers a really important message, and leaves people on a high, hopefully, and inspired to take some form of action.
A legal high, that
Content,
is.
a legal high, definitely, yes. A content speaker is somebody that will still inspire, but they're much more focused on solving a problem within an organization. And very often they'll have workshops on the back of that. They might have some coaching on the back of that. But it's often teaching people something. That's the content. Both are really powerful within the corporate setting, and both are much needed and booked by corporates. And what they have in common is about really addressing a problem that an organization is facing. So, the biggest mistake that I see both types of speakers making is not talking about, and you talk about this a lot,
Yeah.
Elliot, is not connecting the dots between what they're talking about to the problem that they can help solve. I think that's the biggest issue.
So they lead with how great they are as speakers, but not how brilliant problem solvers they are.
Yeah, yeah. And we know when you bring people together, whether it's as a group or within the context of an organization, problems get multiplied as you have more and more people.
Yes.
And
People complicate
corporate,
everything.
they do, don't they? I complicate everything. I own up to that one. So so you have organizations that are really looking for something specific. And it's usually around they either want you to make them more money, so
Yeah.
help them be more profitable. How can you save them time? And that's a real big one right now. So thinking about, what you're talking about, how does that save people time? And it can be saving people time in terms of, well, don't get into so many conflicts with each other. It can
Yeah.
be, as simple as that. To it may be that there's a tool or something that you can actually suggest. but it's about saving them time. And then another one is about lowering their risk.
Right.
They're doing a big project or something like that that's at risk of going, you know, going a kilter in terms of time frames or not delivering on time. Those sorts of things, you want to be able to reduce their risks. So you want to be able to help them and be really clear about how what you do and what you talk about solves a problem that a corporate can see.
Right. So it's about either helping them make more money, which I think most corporates want anyway, saving time, so productivity, efficiency, and lowering risk. So there's
Yeah.
different elements to that. There's different facets to that, which is interesting. So when people come and sign up to Ask the Experts and they get to spend 2 20-minute sessions with you, we've changed it slightly from last year. Is that the kind of content they can expect from spending time with you? And is that what you're going to offer them?
Well, yeah. So here's the thing: corporates don't really buy talks. What they buy are outcomes. They're looking for impact. And so what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be focusing on how you actually package all the things that you can deliver to a corporate so that it's not just about speaking. Speaking might get you a foot in the door.
Right.
You know, you as a speaker, you might get paid, say, £5,000 to £10,000 for doing a keynote speech. But really, the magic is in developing a partnership with that corporate and being able to help them implement what it is that you've been speaking about, whether it's as a keynote speaker or as a content speaker. And that's where the value is, not just for the corporate, but for you as a speaker as well. So those kind of contracts where you're actually building on what you've talked about when you did the speech, when you did the
Yeah.
presentation, are worth, you know, so my company, we get paid 70 odd thousand, 100,000 per contract for working with a corporate and helping them develop their leaders. And so solving that problem, it goes from not just being a one-off 7,500, £10,000 engagement to something that's 10 times that and obviously has 10 times the impact. So
Yeah.
you're really getting to be seen as a trusted partner with that corporate. So the workshops that I'm going to be offering are very much about how you package everything that you can help a corporate with so that you can actually move from being a one-off speaker engagement to being seen as a trusted partner, strategic partner. And those partnerships, they go on for years. So, in terms of your business, that means that you're actually building a more impactful and sustainable business. And that's what we're going to be focusing on, squeezed into
20
20
minutes.
minutes.
Wow. And is there a particular profile of speaker you feel does best when they work with you?
Yeah, so it's definitely a speaker that has a range of different skill sets that corporates want and need. So it's the skill sets of being able to coach, maybe being a consultant, maybe being a trainer, somebody that's used to facilitating conversations. So people that have, if you have additional skill sets to speaking, that you know are valuable in organizations, then you're the perfect person to come along and learn how to package everything together so that you can be a trusted partner and get these more juicy contracts. And that builds a sustainable business for you.
So that's perfect for someone who does far more than speak. I'm not taking away from speaking, but there's people in the room that just speak, right? That's all they do. But then there's lots of people that consult the coach that, train. And I think what you're saying is for someone like that, it's perfect. If you already have these products or you have these offerings, then you help put it in a beautiful toolkit and go, here's this beautiful toolkit. And when they open and go, wow, I'll have this, I love that, right? And so I think that's time well spent with you, because I think what you'll offer them is a different way of seeing what they have. You know, they're already sitting on a mountain of value. Now you're going to show them how to package that value. Is that right?
Beautifully said. Yes,
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, I'm not just a pretty face. People don't believe me, but it's true. I'm not just a pretty face. So you will be with us on the 11th of July in London for the day and the evening. But this is really about the day, this particular interview. And you will be giving a, 20 minutes as the expert. But of course, there's a stand. So when they come to the stand, are you going to have chocolates on the stand? Are you going to have pens? Are you going to have
I'll have
flyers?
chocolates.
You'll have chocolates. Okay, great. And of course, you're going to give a little something in the tote bag, which everyone gets when they leave as well. So that's fantastic to hear. Any last words of wisdom before we wrap this up?
Well, yeah. So the last words of wisdom, not sure whether they're wisdom or not, but really, if you want to move away as a speaker, if you want to move away from chasing bookings to building real client relationships that last, some of my clients, corporate clients, I've been working with for like 14 years now.
Wow.
Then come along to my workshop and I'll share with you exactly how I've done that and how I've helped other coaches, consultants, and trainers do that with their businesses too.
Amazing. I think those are great words of wisdom. We can't wait to see you in the flesh on the 11th of July. We might see you the night before. I don't know. But either way, we'll see you soon. And thank you again for believing in both the Speaker Summit and the Speaker Awards, for being part of our journey and maybe for many years to come, but also the work you do with speakers. Because I know some people from last year have worked with you, and I can see the shift and the change. And also in their whole presence has shifted. So that's great to see for us as well. Everybody's happy that way, right?
Yes.
So if you haven't decided who to go to Ask the Experts, you're going to get two options. One of them, make sure it's Nicky. You might be oversubscribed, Nicky. Then we have to figure out something else to do. So yeah, have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you as always for being here. And I will see you soon, Nicky. Take care.
Thank you, Elliot.
Bye.